Hello everybody. Thank you so much for joining me today. If this is your first time here, welcome. I hope you stick around. I hope you subscribe. And if it's not, thank you for coming back. So today's video is about brushes and how I care for them. Some of you guys requested that I show you guys, so here it is. So the thing that I do differently is not about the technique that I use when I wash my brushes, it's what I use to wash them with. So I'll go over that really quickly before I show you the demo of me actually washing the brushes. So I guess the secret that I use, that I figured out on my own, is especially for the squirrel hair brushes and the Sonyaji dyed goat hair brushes, these two, and I have some other ones. These hairs are very fragile. But if you don't, so for example, the Wayne Goss number 2, it's 100% blue squirrel hair. If you don't wash this and you use it the way I do, which is to set your concealer, it's gonna get nasty. It's gonna get all kind of gooped up with concealer and oils and powder, and it's gonna it looks like the hairs are like brown or white because of all the products stuck in it. So for what I use this for, I need to wash this pretty frequently. What I consider pretty frequently is about every other week, sometimes every week. So if you listen to what the companies tell you, they recommend not washing those much. They recommend just using like one of these microfiber towels and just doing this, but it doesn't do enough. So what I've discovered is I'm using this product called Olaplex number 4 Bond Maintenance Shampoo. Repairs, strengthens, and hydrates all hair types. What this works really great for is fine, damaged hair. This is really what it's good for. So my friend gifted this to me for Christmas. And so for me, my hair is very thick and coarse, but when I used it for my daughter, who has very fine, thin hair, and it breaks and it always feels kind of fried, it really transformed her hair after using it just once. I didn't even have to use conditioner. So when I started doing that, I tried it out with my brushes, and it did the same for my natural hair brushes. It just kind of transformed them. It made them, I would say, even softer. I don't remember exactly, but I've washed this at least 50 times, and it's just as soft as when I first got it. It's intact. There's no falling, the bristles aren't falling out. It's not damaged. It doesn't look like it's breaking. So I feel like that kind of allows me to get away with washing my brushes so often. So I use a lot of my brushes in ways that maybe aren't the best. I use a lot of my goat hair brushes for concealer, for liquids, for cream bronzer, cream blush, cream highlighter. So I did this one yesterday, and I did this one. I haven't done this one for a while, and it is softer after using Olaplex. So you'll see me use that in the demo. Another thing I use is, it's called African black soap for products that don't necessarily need the Olaplex. So if I'm washing just my goat hair brushes, I sometimes will use this. I don't use this every time. I use this when I'm doing my goat hair and my dyed goat hair and my squirrel hair brushes. But between that, like the little eye brushes like this that I wash all the time. I mean, these I'm washing like once or twice a week. I use the African black soap. So I'll link the product below. I don't have the box that it came in, but it's this brand. It's the Nubian Heritage. I have a lotion that is from the Vitamin Shop. Traci recommended this, and when I was shopping there, I saw that they had this African black soap. I remember someone recommending it on YouTube. I don't remember who, but it works great. It does clean the brushes better than the Olaplex shampoo, but it doesn't strip the hair. It doesn't make it feel dry and fried. So I use both of those two things. One obviously for more fragile hairs, and then the bar soap for not so fragile hairs. So when you watch the video, don't necessarily look at the way I actually wash it. And when I use this little, I don't know, rubber, silicone, whatever, it's meant for washing brushes. You don't have to get this one. I don't even know where this is from. I think my mom got this from Daiso or something. Any kind of brush cleaner would work as far as this goes. So when you see me in the video, I'm kind of getting through the motions because I don't want it to take too long. So as far as that goes, I don't really have a special technique. I'm just using these two products, and I'm washing it, rinsing it, drying it out, and then I hang them upside down on it's a bottle rack. So from when my kids were drinking out of a bottle, and now I don't need them, they don't drink out of a bottle anymore. So I use that to hang my brushes, which I don't recommend. I just use it because that's what I have, and I didn't want to have to buy a brush rack. But really, you should buy a brush rack. I know a lot of brands carrying them. I think Sigma has a really fancy one, and there's other ones that are very inexpensive. So another thing, I mean, if you look this up, Sephora carries it, and this size is $28, which I'm thinking like it's kind of expensive to buy that as a brush shampoo, but they come in a small size, a $14 size. I think it's, you know, maybe a third of this, and all you need is just very little. This really lathers up, so you don't need to use a lot when you wash your brushes or your hair. So go ahead and get yourself one of these. Use it for your hair, use it for your brushes. If you don't want it for your hair, get a mini one. It's $14. It's just as expensive as some of the other solutions you find out there that are meant only for brushes. So that's pretty much it. It's just these two products that I use that I think has really changed the way my brushes have been taken care of. None of them are damaged at all. I have maybe, I'm not sure, 25 or 30, and they're all in great shape, and I wash them all the time. I wash them more than recommended. And I mean, let's see, this is my first natural hair brush, and it's just as soft. It's a little dirty because I didn't wash it, but also this one is the Sonia G one, very soft. If anything, it makes them too soft. So if it's too soft, then use the African black soap. But if it's something you're concerned about, try the Olaplex shampoo. Once I've been using it for maybe a year now, and I've never looked back. So enjoy the video. If you guys have any questions or any requests, just leave them in the comments below. All right, that's it for now, and thank you for watching. Bye. So here I am. I'm going to put just a couple of drops of the Olaplex No. 4 shampoo in a little bowl. I also have a bowl of water, which I dip the brushes in to just kind of dampen them initially. Just make sure you're always kind of tilting the brush downward so the water doesn't get in the ferrule. Once that happens, the glue starts to loosen up and it starts falling apart. So just a little bit of the Olaplex is all you need. And then I use that little scrubber mitt thing. It's my Sonia G Soft Cheek. I use that just for powder, so it's really not that dirty. I mean, I probably didn't even really need to wash it that well. Just wanted to show you guys how a brush like that washes when you use this product. I'm gonna do voiceover. And then I squeeze the water out with my hand. I know that looks harsh, but trust me, I've never broken a brush, not yet at least, and I've done this many times. And this is the Wayne Goss Squirrel Brush. Probably one of my softest and most delicate brushes. You want to? After rinsing it, when I squeeze it, I can kind of tell if there's any leftover soap. See a little soap there, so I just want to make sure I get that out so it doesn't get left behind on the bristles. This is one of my Hakuhodo eye brushes. So I don't wash those after every use, but I do wash them at least once a week. Now this is a concealer brush, the Wangos 16. Poor brush gets used and washed so many times. I just haven't been able to bring myself to buy another one, but I really should. It takes a lot. Now, when I dry them, I'm not really showing it here, but I kind of form them with my hands when they're still wet. I don't use brush guards. I just don't think they're necessary, not for the brushes that I have. There is a brush that I have. It's the Wangos number 12. I'm not washing it here, but I use a itty bitty little kid's rubber band to kind of keep it in shape, because it really needs to kind of remain in its shape to work properly. I know I don't think a lot of people would agree with using a rubber band, but it's what I've used. It's never caused damage. It's never misshapen my brushes. Now this is my foundation brush. I have a few of these. It's just a Real Techniques synthetic brush. I'm just showing you how I use the African black soap in the bar. And realistically, you don't even have to use that for these. Synthetic bristles are very resilient. You can really use Dawn or kind of anything to really clean them. Right here, I'm just washing them once, but I usually give them a second wash because the foundation really, gets in between, and these are really hard to wash. That's why I don't like using a natural hairbrush for foundation. I would just have to be too rough on them to clean them. So over there is my little bottle drying rack that I use for my brushes. Oh, and this is how I do like 5 eye brushes at once. It gets very tedious doing little eye brushes. So the bar soap just makes it a little bit easier. And these are really easy to wash. I've pretty much just used them with powders, so nothing really too stuck in there. So I just slightly kind of wring them out, and I do shape them with my hands when they're still wet. I don't use brush guards. I know a lot of people here on YouTube do. I just don't want to take the time to put each one in a brush guard. And for me, if I shape them with my hands, they tend to keep its shape, especially the squirrel hair brushes. They're such fine bristles. I don't feel like they need a brush guard. And if I can, I hang them upside down to dry to make sure no water gets into the ferrule. Oops, one fell. So here it is, drying. They dry very quickly. I am in a dry climate, but there we go. The ones I can't fit in those spaces, I hang them off the edge. And I have a whole set of clean brushes.